Hi, my name is John DeMarzo, and I want to show you how you can replace the pressure pot O-ring in your 2034 VXA. Now, this would be good for your 1924, the 2034 VXA, and the 2648 VX. All three of those cabinets would have the same pressure pot system as this. So, let's go over a couple tools that you'll need in order to accomplish this. Number one, you need a nice crescent wrench, a good size one, a 7/16 wrench, a flathead screwdriver, a couple of snips/wrenches, a mallet, rubber, and a plastic bag. Now you'll see what all of these do in the end, but first let's go ahead and remove our pressurized air from our compressor to this cabinet. Now you'll notice by the gauge here, I have a completely decompressed pressure pot. That's very essential when you first get going. You do not want any pressure left inside this pressure pot when you're working on it. So let's disengage our air, disengage our foot pedal system, put that aside. Now, what I want to show you is the pressure pot is actually attached to the cabinet itself by a lever system that pulls up and pressurizes the seal. That system you can see right here. You'll see the lever system coming out to the outside of the system, and it controls this lever. We need to remove this first. I'm going to take my pliers and remove this Carter pin. See that there? Save that for when we put the pressure pot back on, and I'm going to pull this pin and disengage that whole lever. That will now allow us to actually bring the pressure pot down off the system without it being attached to the body itself. Alright, once that's completed, let's go ahead and take off our hoses here. So number one, let's take our bag and get it ready to catch any sand underneath the union. I'm going to undo this hose clamp here, loosen that up, pull this out. And now I'm going to take that large crescent wrench and begin to undo this union. Once you get it started, it should be fairly easy. Now take your bag and let that sand flow into some kind of bag to save for later. The sand that's in the pressure pot is still good sand, so we want to save as much as we can. Alright, while that's draining, we're going to take our 7/16 wrench and begin to undo these caps that are at the top. There's 4 caps and 4 screws that attach the pressure pot to the body. So we'll undo these caps to reveal the screws. 2 in the front and 2 in the back. Now we're going to loosen these screws ever so slightly. We don't want to do it all the way off of one and not the other ones. You want an even distribution of weight. So we're going to start each one and kind of work our way around. can see they're starting to loosen up. You'll be able to feel where the weight is on the pressure pot because of how hard the screws are to undo. So again, we're just going to go around. It's going to take a few minutes to unscrew these, and you'll see that start to separate there. So I don't want to do that one anymore. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is actually leave 2 diagonal ones completely on and remove the other 2 diagonals from the system. So I've decided I'm going to leave this one on and this one back here on. So I'm going to remove this one completely. That way I have 2 screws holding the pressure pot on. And I can better work with them. Again, a little bit at a time, because you don't want this pressure pot to just drop on the ground. Our sand should be close to completely draining out. Give that a couple more minutes. All right, now you can see we have a very loose pressure pot. Our screws are almost out on our 2 ends here. And we're just going to keep loosening them. All right. Now, the easiest way that we have found to remove and put the pressure pot back on is to get some kind of stool or chair to give you a better leverage. So I'm actually going to pull this chair over. And finish off the job so I have a hold of that pressure pot. So adjust your ball valves accordingly so that they're not in your way. And continue to remove the screws. And there goes that screw. Okay, so again, I'm supporting the pressure pot with my leg, so I'm not putting all this weight onto one screw. And I'll finish this one off over here. Okay, so you don't want the pressure pot to drop on the ground, so we're going to take that pressure pot and set it down as lightly as we can. Now we get to see what's actually inside here. You've got a catch system here that catches the extra photoresist or whatever you have inside your cabinet. If there's an extra piece of glass that's in there or anything like that, that's going to filter that out. And you'll notice in here we've got our hopper that seals the pressure pot and a red ring. That red ring, you can see, goes all the way around. Now we have the ability to actually get to that ring, remove it, put in our new one, and do the whole process in reverse. So that's really the fundamental steps of removing this pressure pot. As you can see, it only took me about 10 minutes or so, but I'm able to safely remove it, replace any parts I need inside that pressure pot, and now I can just do the whole order in reverse and have a perfectly sealed cabinet again. Thank you for watching. Call us if you have any questions. 1-800-729-9478, Resist Photomask.